Did you upgrade your camera? Looks like we're at 250 frames per second.
Yeah, 250 viewers too. What's up, all you viewers? We're live. It's Fresh Yesterday, and we live the mask life.
Mask life.
There's a lot
if you want to be this close.
Yeah.
If you want to, if we stayed further away, we could maybe get away with
maybe, but there's a lot of controversy around masks, which
Really?
I find very interesting. Yeah.
Really?
But for me, it's a very small thing to do to maybe be a little safer. So why not? Plus, it looks cool.
I mean, I love this one. Look at this.
Look at that mask.
That is some really cool, and it just matches my beard.
Who made
too.
that mask for you, Garrett?
I'm pretty sure this was a Sue Moss.
Yeah, was that a Sue Moss?
I'm pretty sure it was. Thanks, Sue. Thanks, Moss family.
Yeah, thank you, Moss family.
It almost looks like an owl in the front. Like a really cool design there.
Yeah, I mean, or a lion.
Or a lion.
Yeah. Arr, arr. So we're here in the kitchen.
I'm still trying to.
Still trying to sip.
Oh man, this is.
The life is a lot different with the mask.
You have
life.
to take an actual coffee break.
Yeah, which is good. So we're here at Fresh Yesterday. We're back on Facebook. We're just exploring, you guys. We don't know what we're doing, so thanks for your patience.
That is true.
Yeah.
It does always seem like we might have an inkling of an idea.
Yeah.
Of what is actually going on, but it's not.
It's all a big charade. I don't think anybody really knows. A charade, as it were.
Are we playing games here, or what's it?
Always. Nice hat, though. Where'd you get that hat?
This is, it's from long ago from the store. Oh,
yeah.
See, you can't do this.
Uh-oh. What are you doing?
It all just comes apart. That was on top of my... Okay, hold on.
So we had 3 viewers, and now we have 2. Hey, viewers. Thanks for finding us on Facebook. We were on Instagram. We're back on Facebook. We're just going to feel out what makes sense. Maybe we just do, pre-produced videos for you guys in the future. We're hoping that this is educational. So every week we explore something new. Last week, Garrett talked about Montreal bagels, what the difference is between that and New York bagels. A lot of it has to do with the enriching of the dough with eggs and milk, right, Garrett?
Some tasting too, right?
We tasted, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What's that, Garrett?
These are my packets from my King Arthur classes.
Dang.
Every time you take a class, they give you a pretty sweet little notebook. I could probably put these all together.
Is that like The Notebook with Ryan Gosling and Rachel McAdams?
Who?
Is that kind of like The Notebook, the movie? Or the Nicholas Sparks novel? Super romantic. Is that kind of the love?
I did cry now that you're reminding me of it. So now it's just bringing up all those emotions.
Aw, 5 viewers, Gar. Hey, guys. We're doing a movie review of The Notebook.
Yeah, we should have a bread stream that just reviews other things.
Yeah, exactly.
Not bread. We don't talk about bread at all. We just review things.
Yeah, like romance novels. Thank you, Nicholas Sparks, for your contributions to humanity. So, but in all seriousness, we're thinking about other elements to include. Maybe it's a music review.
Yep.
Maybe it's a movie review. Yeah.
Movie reviews, that'd be fun.
So, drop a comment if there's something you want to see this guy talk about.
Hannah's definitely got a better eye for movies at the very least. We all know her taste in music sucks.
Oh, if my taste in music sucks, then your taste in music is even worse.
What?
Anywho, so this week...
Hey, speaking of music, did you drop your video last time?
I did not drop my video, but I think I'm going to drop it on Friday. It's so heavy, but I'm going to keep carrying it a little bit further. Yeah. I am in a new band thanks to COVID-19 called Sparkling Isolation, and we do drop videos here and there because what else are we doing with our time?
Did you make a Facebook page called Sparkling Isolation?
Not yet.
Not yet? Maybe we should think about it.
Maybe. So, first of all, you're wearing a mask, so you have to speak up.
Oh, yes, I'm wearing a mask.
And second of all, what are you talking about today?
Well, we're talking about our roads today.
Wow. Wow. Look at that attire. Please take a moment to admire my attire.
Oh, you know what I didn't do? I don't think I turned the griddle back on. Hold on.
All right. All right, so what do we have here? Garrett's been learning a lot about baking, and we hop on here to kind of share some of that with the community. So that's what we're doing. That's what this is all about. This is obviously a commercial kitchen. Like, not a lot of people have this kind of thing in their home, but a lot of what Garrett does can translate to your home baking. So hopefully we learn a little.
No, I'm just kidding. You're giving some.
I just was like, here's what we're doing and why we're here.
All right. Well, so we're gonna talk a little bit about one thing that I had never learned about until doing this kind of baking in the store is something called preferments.
Preferments.
Which are found in traditional European breads. Just like these, maybe. I've never seen bread like this. That looks like it was maybe squished through the rolling pin, which is a really cool technique. Instead of, cutting the dough, you can take your shaped dough, and you take a rolling pin, and you just press it into the top, and then you throw that in to prove upside down. And it will make these, like, weird kind of mark like that. Very cool, though.
Neato.
Traditional.
Let's not forget that we have some of our roots based in German John's, a German bakery that was in Hillsborough, and some of the stuff we have here, we helped reclaim some of their equipment as they were moving on to the next phase of their life. So some German roots, I would say, here at Sweet Beet Kitchen and Bakery.
I forgot that we're going to actually do a demo, too. So.
Yeah. Garrett's got his shorts together. Shorts. Here we are in the kitchen. He's collecting his materials. We did have a few viewers. I think they're gone now, but they'll come back.
They're gone now. All right, so we're talking about preferments, which is a simple idea because it's just, let's break the word down. We got before.
What's next?
It's a prefix. Pre is the ultimate prefix because it's the first prefix. Right? It's like there was no prefix before pre.
Can't believe we're also getting a language lesson. Like, this is incredibly valuable stuff. Oh, man.
Language lesson.
Oops.
That's my coffee. Yeah, oopsies. I spilled one drop. So pre-ferment. So we are fermenting dough pre or before our actual dough. So right now, today's Thursday. We have fresh baguettes available tomorrow, and Saturday and Sunday. But today, the day before, I have to do my pre-ferment. So I'm fermenting some flour and water with a little bit of yeast, and it will bubble up in this bowl overnight. And then tomorrow morning, I will take the contents of this bowl and add it to the final dough, or we'll call it in this lesson. We'll call it the final dough, and we'll add that to more flour and water and some salt and yeast, and that will be our dough for the actual baguette. But the pre-ferment plays an important role in flavor development, in textures, and in longevity of the bread. It typically helps bread last a little bit longer. You can imagine that it's like a sponge. So some recipes will tell you to let the yeast and flour and water maybe just sit for a couple of minutes and activate. It's kind of very similar to that, but you've extended it for 18 plus hours. So that's what we're going for here, is that we will be I'll be fermenting water and flour for the baguette, and we do another one for the 5 grain, but we'll probably skip that one because it's a little bit longer.
Yeah. So this will just give us a taste of what that means. Yeah. And the English muffin recipe that Garrett has adapted here. We were talking about it, yeah. That I started making that at home when I found the recipe, so it's definitely a can-do-at-home thing, and that includes a pre-ferment, and that's where I first heard about pre-ferments. Very cool stuff.
So I'm gonna just flip open this because I know Didier talked a lot about pre-ferments, and I just wanted to check back in.
Lost network connection. Oh, we're back.
I just want to check back in on pre-ferments because I know. There's pre-ferments. An introduction. And this is an awesome And yeah, I was taking a lot of notes, but this is just...
Look at you taking notes,
There's
time.
just so much.
Ooh.
There's just so much going on. If you can't ferment after mixing, do it before. Right?
Yeah.
Do it before.
Back to that pre-concept.
Yeah. Conclusions. All right. Let's see. Yeah, so they're calling this indirect dough process. A percentage of the flour is mixed with a percentage of water, yeast, and salt. After mixing, the dough is allowed to ferment under controlled conditions. Right? So,
what does that mean? Controlled
conditions
conditions.
just means that, like, typically a bakery like this would have either heating or cooling to keep this at a constant temperature. That's all it means. But your constant temperature also might be below 40, you know? So sometimes these go from out here for an hour and then go in the walk-in for 18 hours, right? And so depending on what you're looking for and what kind of flavors and aromas and other things, you will make it cold or hot or long or short. I'm trying to see if they have any more info on that stuff, because it's hard to know exactly what makes what. Like a baguette pre-ferment likes to sit out. It likes to go for a long time, and when you open it,
Likes to go for long walks.
Yeah, long walks on the beach, and you hold its hand. And, but it has this nutty, very acidic aroma when you open it in the morning, and you can really you can smell like a baguette almost. You can smell the beginnings of a baguette going in there. Like, wow, that's like that's this rich, fermented, yeasty kind of smell.
Might knock you off your feet.
It does. I've had you
Yeah.
You cover it with plastic, right? And if the plastic really is on tight, it will hold it. Sometimes there'll be like a bubble because it's caught all of that air. If you want a really good trick, you just open it up on one of your friends and you tell them to stick their nose.
Oh man,
and
they'll
they
be
can
done.
Literally knock you out.
Wow, that's savage, Garrett. Savage.
All right, you're just zooming in on really close to my face all the time. Let me do that for you. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, that's my job, Garrett. We both have our jobs here in this scenario. So,
sorry. What
great.
were you gonna say?
Well, nothing. I'm excited to see what you're mixing here. Let's get to
so
it.
This is going to be called a poulish.
A poulish.
A poulish. And it comes from the Polish word Polish, actually.
Jeez Louise. What is going on?
But there's different types of pre-ferments, and the names just generally give you an idea of the composition of it. So a poulish is 100% hydrated. It's equal parts flour and water, and is typically out for 12 to 24 hours, and it uses a sprinkling of yeast, like a very, very, very little bit. The longer the fermentation time for the pre-ferment, the less yeast you're going to use.
The longer the time, the less yeast.
You don't just add more yeast to make it go longer. If you add more yeast, it's going to eat it up in a shorter amount of time because it's more available. It's a little backwards, but for this I only end up using...
The more you know.
I only end up using 3 grams of yeast for this, and I'm doing this a little early today, but that's really not a big deal at all.
Great.
I would rather it be done early than late, because a later one, you have to make adjustments. I have to say, oh, now this is shorter. I have to use more yeast. How much more yeast? Is it 1 gram? Is it 2 grams? And sometimes that's not so clear.
Surely.
So this is a poulish, but for other doughs, I do pâte fermentées, which is just called old dough, or fermented dough. Pâte fermentée means dough fermented in French, and that just means it's more like the end consistency of the dough. So a lot of times it has salt in it. But it's like it almost shares or has the same exact qualities of the actual dough. So if it's a 60% hydrated dough, then your pâte fermentée will be 60%. It'll have the same amount of salt and just less yeast. It won't have the same amount, or not the same amount of salt, but the same percentage of salt. So
It's all about percentages here, the ratios.
Sponge and biga, and then...
the biga, that's from the English muffins.
Yep, and the biga, these are just range is. They're stiffer though. They're like 50 to 75% hydrated. I would say the Be Good Moderns or models. Can't see my face right now or my mouth, but
right.
I'm making like this very confused look.
You're like mouthing numbers to yourself, like, what is that? What does that add up to? Yeah.
Square root. And,
You're no Matt Damon, Garrett.
No.
And you never will be, okay?
Oh my god.
I'm sorry.
So, and preferments are typically 30% or less of the total weight of the flour. So if we're talking about 1,000 grams of flour in the total recipe, only 300 grams of that should be pre-fermented. Otherwise, you start degrading the flour too long. And this is why you can't really, like 24 hours-ish, you start going beyond that and you start losing some characteristics of the dough that make it harder. So it's like, I can't mix something 24 hours ahead, just put it in the fridge and it's going to come out exactly the same. It doesn't quite work like that.
Gotcha.
So for this example / actual thing I'm going to mix to use tomorrow, not example for this.
He's actually
for
working.
My recipe,
That's
this
right.
is 900 grams. I could probably make it 1,000 grams, but and we're off a little bit, but that's okay. And we're going to use my fresh yeast here because even though I've been told multiple times by everybody it doesn't make any difference, I think it for the baguette specifically, I think it's worth it. So there's my 3 grams, not a lot. In terms of instant yeast, that would be less than a gram of instant yeast, or probably a quarter teaspoon. A very, very, very little bit of instant yeast. And I'll just use my little whisk here.
Less is more.
We talked about this dough whisk. Remember that unboxing, our first video?
Oh my gosh, so sentimental. Those were different times. No masks back then.
No, we didn't have the mask on, except for Jim Carrey's The Mask.
Yeah, we were watching that constantly.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I mean,
Classic film.
So I'll just let that mix in just a hair because I like it to be mixed. And then we will do a little bit of flour.
Here we go with the flour.
I need to get another bag of flour after this because I don't have enough. Okay, so there's 300.
So equal parts, eh?
Yeah, so we did 900 and what, 13?
That's right.
So we'll shoot for that.
Woo! Oh. There, well, that's pretty darn close,
That's
Gar.
good. That's Laurel's birthday. Happy birthday, Laurel.
Happy birthday, Laurel.
Okay.
What a good brother you are.
Maybe. Sometimes. Alright, and then, see, this is where this whisk is really, really shines during the pre-ferment stage. Can't really use this on everything, but instead of using like a regular wire whisk, this dough whisk works really well because you have a batter here, not dough. So this isn't ever going to come together, and you don't want it to. You just want it to be, you want all the water to be hydrated, not so clumpy. And by all the water, I meant all the flour to be hydrated and not so clumpy. So just about there. You can imagine doing this in a giant container if you have to make 100 baguettes.
Dang.
But this is only a dozen. And we'll see. Maybe I need to make more. But yeah, so this is going to bubble up really intense, and tomorrow, hopefully all the yeast, except for maybe just a teeny tiny bit, it wants to be just like with most baking. It should be perfectly risen to the exact point of nearly consuming all of the energy in the yeast, but not all of it. And that's just like almost the exact same thing as when you put the bread in the oven. It's supposed to be like almost right up to that point so that you put it in the oven and it just finishes, it grows to that perfect size. And it's hard. It's hard without doing it a lot.
Well, it seems like there's a lot of the science of it, the ratios and all of that, and the measuring, but there's also an art to it. You get to know the art of
And that,
leaving
the
that
science
extra.
only just gets you there. Right?
Yeah.
That's the idea, is that you make it, you work hard to make it consistent so that your variables aren't like so grossly exaggerated
Right.
at the end of it.
That you can't perfect the art.
Yeah,
Right.
you can't, go from one day to the next and actually understand the changes that were going on.
So there's your preferment. There's the poolish
Yep, so I'll
for the
scrape that
baguette.
down. Yep, this is our baguette poolish. I could tomorrow morning I will take a picture and or a video, and maybe I'll share it to something, or I'll send it to Hannah.
Okay, great,
Maybe
perfect.
on the Instagram.
And you know what? You can buy Garrett's baguettes pre-fermented with this poolish, which makes it just more rich, more tasty, and it holds it together longer. You can find that at Sweet Beet Market online store.
How do you get there?
Well, you can go to kearsargefoodhub.org and find Sweet Beet Market, or you can go to sweetbeetmarket.com.
You haven't seen Con Air?
Oh,
Oh my God, it's full of amazing actors too.
well, we're at about
That's what we should review. We should review Con Air first.
any Nicolas Cage movie. I fear I have a bias towards because I just something about that guy, man. I just can't. No.
Did they burn him in that?
So we're at. I don't know, Garrett.
All right, what do you want?
Well, it's about 20 minutes in. We're thinking that's a good time. Do you want? What do you think?
I think that's great. We did our first one. I'm gonna do.
We learned. I learned.
Cook English muffins actually right now. I'll finish my 5-grain one. I have to double check how many orders we got, so I don't make too many extra. I'll make a few extra, but just not that many. And
Yeah.
then we'll go from there. So I'm back on English muffin duty, and we'll have those ready for you tomorrow too.
And when you're baking at home, check out the concept of a pre-ferment. It's good for home baking too,
And,
right?
Yeah, shoot me a text if you have any questions about it on the Facebook.
Ask any questions anytime.
Yeah, ask me anything.
All right.
That name, eh?
All right. Stay fresh.
Yeah.